Section 4, Lesson 5, Custom Audiences, How to Create Them. Now, in the last lesson, you learned all about custom audiences, why they're awesome, and why you need to use them. Today, you're going to create them. So backing up a little bit, custom audiences are a way that you can target your offline customers. So that be via email addresses, phone numbers, user IDs with Facebook ads, regardless of whether or not they're your Facebook fans. This is powerful, powerful stuff. You ready? Let's go. So what are we going to do today? Really simple. We're going to talk about how to create your first custom audiences and how to use them. Let's do that screen share.
Okay, so let's create that custom audience. On the left-hand side, click on Audiences, then the Create Audience button, and then Custom Audience. We'll get to that Save Target Group here in a future lesson. Now you want to name that audience. So you want this to be as descriptive as possible, because this is what's going to show up when you're selecting an audience for an ad in the future. So don't just say email list, because chances are you're going to upload multiple email lists into the future. So you could say buyers of widget 1.0. Maybe that's the segmented list that you're going to use, and you can add additional details if you would like there. So now understand you could upload an email list, UID list, phone number list, app user ID list. And just to give you a quick explanation for each. So in each of these, it's got to be a CSV or a text file. And I usually do CSV. So for email addresses, got to be all one column, just email addresses. I don't even have a header row or anything. They must be in plain text, formatted as the name at domain.com or .net or whatever it is. But anything that is invalid is going to throw it off. It could force the whole upload to fail. So what you might want to do, hopefully you've got a clean email list anyway to begin with, that's been double opt-in or whatever. So that is the email list. So you would just upload it in there. For user IDs, it's got to be plain text and numeric characters only. If you know anything about UIDs, they look a little bit like that. That's there's actually a resource I provided in the article that provides a link to find what your user ID is. You can find it for anybody really, just so you know what that is and where that comes from. And then phone numbers. This one's a little tricky. So if you have a phone number list, it's probably not in this format. So it's got to be country code plus the phone number, all numeric, no parentheses, no dashes, nothing. So it's got to look like this. If you're in the U.S., 1-555-555-5555, that kind of thing, right? And then app user IDs, and this also, within my article, provides details on how to get those user IDs for your app if you have a Facebook app. So once you're done, you would just click create, and when you're once you create it and you send it to Facebook, it's going to take some time. So generally up to an hour or so to create a custom audience. Facebook again has to match up that data with Facebook users, and when they're done, they're going to tell you, we got 4,100 people or whatever it is. And but when it's not ready, it'll say waiting here under status. And for size, it's just going to have a couple dashes. So until that's completed, and it won't be immediate, that's what you're going to see. You can always click check updates to force Facebook to load it in and check again to see if it's ready. But I wouldn't sit here, wait and refresh, and just check back in 30 minutes or an hour. So in a nutshell, that is how you create a custom audience. And so once you do, then you get you can click on it and get a few details that you have in there. You can edit it as well. And you can even add users or remove users in the future. Also similar audiences, which is a lookalike audience, which we will get to tomorrow. Okay, so now you've created an ad and you want to target those people who are on that custom audience list. So first of all, what I would do is I would keep everything really broad. If your custom audience list includes people from 6 different countries, I'd include all those countries here. I keep ages completely broad, genders completely broad. In most cases, you might have reasons to do otherwise, but just what I would normally do, because you want to reach all those people who have bought that product. You don't need to segment those anymore. I would leave precise interests empty and categories empty. Connections can all be empty, depending on what you're doing. We'll get to that in a second. And then you go to advanced options and you enter that email list so you can target them. Now you can also exclude these people. And a good example for that would be, again, if you had a widget, the widget 1.0 or widget 2.0 that you're announcing, but you want to exclude those people who have already bought it. So that's a good way to just avoid wasting money on people you don't need to advertise to. And now the other thing was I talked earlier about creating an ad targeting a custom audience to increase fans. So getting people who aren't already fans to like your page. And the way you do that, you'd include that custom audience and then target users who are not already connected to your Facebook page. And if you wanted to, you could also do friends who are also friends of fans. Just know that's really going to start limiting who are you reaching there. So that's custom audiences, how to create them, and how you can use them.
So do you know how to create your first custom audience? Let's test that out with today's homework.
Okay, here are your action items for today on custom audiences. Number 1, create at least one custom audience, one for each customer list type. Again, if you did yesterday's homework, you should be one step ahead on this one. And number 2, create an ad that targets and or excludes a custom audience. Feel free to run it if you want, if you feel like you're comfortable doing this. But the main thing is just that you start going through those motions.
Good work, my friend. Let's move forward to lesson 6, lookalike audiences.